Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford TV Accrington Stanley match preview. Let me know your score predictions and thoughts going into a game in the comments down below. Apologies as well for the lack of videos recently. Been a bit busy, but also the game's been called off. I had a bit of a sixth sense, I think, because every time I don't do a preview, the game tends to get called off. I didn't do one for Salford, I'm pretty sure. Game got called off. Didn't do one for Doncaster for Tuesday nights with a proper game, but obviously got rescheduled because of a frozen pitch or waterlogged pitch. Didn't do one for then, and obviously not counting Barrow. I don't really know. I can't really remember why I didn't do one, but yeah, apologies for that. Thank you very much for 300 subscribers. That's massive, because 250 subscribers were on beginning of February and finished it on 300. So that's huge, and it's massively appreciated, and it means a lot. So we're on the road to 400 subscribers now, and I mean, if we could get that to the end of the season, that would be incredible. But I have no aims. Whatever happens, and thank you for the support. But yeah, hopefully by the end of the season we're in the playoffs. But it's looking like a long shot at the minute. 12 wins. I always say you need 20, and I'll keep banging that drum, but to be honest with you, I think we might need more than that, and I think it's looking unlikely. Unfortunately, we have 2 games in hand, and it's possible, but those are against Notts County and Barrow, and I think the best time to play them was at the times we needed to play them. So, yeah, it's unlikely, and I say that because Gillingham have 16 wins and they have 10 games left, which would mean if you need 20 wins, they would only need 4 more wins from 10, which, and they've got to play us, so they'll probably win that. So, it is unlikely. But we'll get into the preview. No notes and unedited, unfortunately, for you people. But I'm sure it's not a problem. We'll get into key players then for Accrington. Two key players that I do like, and one that, to be fair, I'll own up to it. It was very lazy. I just looked at the top goal scorer and said, he'll do. And that's Jack Nolan. 22 years of age, 23 at the end of this season. He's come through it this season. He's had a very good season as well, because he's played 42 games, and previously last season he played 17 and he didn't score or contribute a goal. So somewhat come out of nowhere this season to get 12 goals and 9 assists. And he's a good little player. Plays off the left-footed. Can play off the right. So yeah, but I confess I don't know an awful lot about him. So Accrington fans, if there's any of you watching, let me know your thoughts on the key players as well. I don't normally open it up, which I really should. Tommy Lee. Big fan of him. Every time I see him, I do like the look of him. Quite tenacious, dynamic box-to-box midfielder who has goals to his game. He's how old is he now? Is he 23? And he's 23 and he's 24 in April. So yeah, he's a good little player. I like the look of him. He did well last season in a relegation side, played a lot of games, and obviously that helped him. And a lot of this Accrington side, as we're getting to what can we expect to a young side, so you can expect naivety, and that's why they're right up there for the poor discipline of getting loads of fouls against them and a load of yellow cards. But Tommy Lee, very dynamic player, and he's a player that I do rate out of this Accrington side. And then another player who should be back for this game. He got sent off against Colchester. 3 games has passed since then, and he goes by the name of Brad Hills. Very good centre back for Accrington. He's won a lot of aerial duels as well for a 19-year-old. He's won 216 aerial duels, and that's a 67.7% accuracy of those. 61 interceptions, 181 recoveries. Now, I never really understand recoveries, because when you look at what it actually means, it's like a chance created. The weird interpretations of them. So I always take stats with a pinch of salt. 61 interceptions and 322 duels won, which is all very good stats for a 19-year-old lad who's starting at centre back, and very decent on the ball as well. He's on loan this season from Norwich City, playing 38 games for Accrington Stanley at the back. And we all know what the demands are of an Accrington centre back when John Coleman were the manager. Into the dugout section, I suppose. And I don't know who's at the dugout, because I haven't really looked at it for Accrington. They've obviously sacked John Coleman on Sunday. I think it was Sunday morning, which for me was a disgrace of a decision. I get they'll have the reasons, but for me, coming into the season as an outsider, as a bit of a neutral. When looking at Accrington, I just saw them as a bottom half side. I thought they'd struggle. I didn't think they'd be anywhere near a playoff race, and throughout the season they've been up there in the push for the playoffs. Last few games they've dipped away. Whether that's John Coleman's fault or not, I don't think it is. I think it's just the squad just falling away because they haven't got the quality to compete with, your Wrexhams of the world, your Mansfields, your Stockports, even your Notts Counties, and even us, because they've never been that, and yet under John Coleman they've always been competitive against those sides. That's why Accrington were in League One for a lot of seasons in the past few. And this season he's been handed a naive young squad that he's worked really well with. So maybe they're looking at going a different direction. I know he's always developed players, John Coleman, and a lot of good young players across the AFL right now have been brought in from Accrington, and they've sold them on for a profit. They've always been a good little well-run club. So maybe they're just looking at going a different way, maybe bringing in a younger manager who wants to play tippy-tappy. I don't know. I'm not an Accrington fan, but for me it's definitely, as an outsider, a disgraceful decision for someone who's done so much for the football club for about 25 years, and it was just a poor little statement. But we're not here to talk about Accrington. We're here to talk about Bradford City, and the next section is the results. But yeah, we'll talk about Accrington's results then. 4-0 win, 4-0 defeat to Wrexham. They did get a red card in that game. Lewis Shipley in the 91st minute. They also, I've just gone off it. They've also lost 2-1 to Walsall as well. And they lost to Crawley. So the three games that they've just lost are all teams who are either in the automatic race or the playoff race. 1-1 draw to Colchester. In that game, Brad Hills got sent off, and a 2-0 win against Wimbledon. Our last 5 games: a 1-1 draw against Doncaster, a 1-0 defeat to Wycombe in the semi-final of the Football League Trophy, a 1-0 win against Sutton United, a 4-0 win against MK Dons, and 1-0 win against Wrexham, and a 0-0 draw to AFC Wimbledon in a very boring stalemate of a game. So hopefully we can pick up with a win against Accrington in this one. I've just remembered that the ref watch. Now, I got very excited when I saw that Paul Howard was the referee, because I thought I recognised that name. Around the time of February, when I was watching football matches, I was writing down a bit of a match report page full, and I thought, right, the referees, I'll put the referee down, and I'm sure we'll get one at the end of this season. And Paul Howard was the referee for a game that I watched. Was between Stevenage and Reading. Reading won 1-0. Verdane Oliver played in that game, and he did score an own goal, but scored nevertheless. He had a big chance as well that he should have scored, Verdane Oliver, and he did come off, and they give him a 4 out of 10 as a player rating. He didn't impress me much. Shania Twain. But Paul Howard, there should have been 3 penalties in the match, according to me. One for Reading, I think, I put, and obviously then 2 for Stevenage. There was a poor decision between Sweeney, the Stevenage centre-back. You'll probably remember him from last season. He went down injured, with inverted commas very strongly, because I do remember what happened. He didn't go off for 30 seconds. And obviously you should. If you're feigning an injury, or if you are injured, you should go off the pitch for 30 seconds, especially if it were an injury it was. And he just hobbled off into the penalty box, and he didn't hobble off. He shot off like a flipping plane jetting off into the clouds. But yeah, that were poor. A few poor free kicks I've put down as well. And the last minute Stevenage attack was a blatant corner, and it went for a Reading goal kick, and yeah, not like I say, the big one. There should have been 3 penalties, and I'm neutral. I'm not biased in any way. So yeah, it will pass. So I'm not really looking forward to him refereeing, but I was waiting for that. I can't lie to tell you about Paul Howard. Yeah. So. The starting 11, sorry. I've got no notes, so I don't know where I am, to be honest. But yeah, the starting 11, we've got Sam Walker in goal. He's been fantastic recently. And I thought he won't fault for the goal, actually. I thought he could have done more. Doncaster's goal in midweek, I felt like he could have pushed the ball quicker. He could have closed the angle down, but I'm not a goalkeeper, so I can't really comment, but I did feel like he could have done more there. The back three has to remain the same. Sorry, that's That's dangling down a bit too much. Yeah, the back three has to stay the same. Matty Platt obviously still injured for a couple of weeks, I think Alexander said. I'm pulling the wrong thing here. 1 minute. This needs to go. I pushed it too far out now. Oh, it's gone back down. Oh, oh my God, Christ. Right, stay there. Right, sorry. Where were I? But Matty Platt. He's injured for a couple more weeks, I think, until he's in contention. So you're looking at maybe Notts County in midweek. I'm comfortable with Stubbs there, but I feel like we missed Platt on Tuesday night. Kelly and Tompkinson either side of Stubbs, with Halliday and Gilead as the wing backs. Richards came on it. I wasn't impressed by him. I thought he could have done much more to prove why he should be starting, in my opinion. The midfield, McDonald and Small come back into the midfield. I felt like McDonald probably came off around 70 minutes so he could play on Saturday, and Smallwood's back from his suspension, so it's a no-brainer for me to go with that sort of midfield four. The two behind Andy Cook for me is Clark Odra and Adam Wilson. Clark Odra has to go back in his preferred position. I don't think he was bad Tuesday night. I thought he was okay, but he's not a number 8, and that was clear to see. And you know, I think it showed a bit of character actually for him to say, you know, I'll play there, and that's something we've seen recently from Odran. It's something I want to keep seeing, and he still had quality. You know, he's still getting on the ball and dictating play and wanting to play forward, which is something we've seen as well since that MK Dons game, which I'm impressed by. So yeah, he's got to start back in his preferred position. Tariq Wright gets dropped for Adam Wilson because, well, Wright, he missed a sitter in that first half and he should have scored that. That wasn't the only reason. When Adam Wilson came on more than all, well, Tariq Wright, I suppose, getting dropped for, well, Wright and Kavanagh's getting dropped. I forgot about Kavanagh. He were at fault for the Doncaster goal as well. Stupid foul in the corner. Hands on the player, giving an easy option. Could have won a corner. Could have gone back to keeper and maybe we'd have scored if they messed up. But instead he gives away a stupid foul. He does that a lot, which is a bit irritating. But I do love him. I think he's a fantastic, energetic player who gets the right people annoyed, but also can get our atmosphere up. But he did have a poor game, and there's so many quality players in those areas. You know, you've got Bobby Pointer, who I hadn't even mentioned, Harry Chapman, who came on, got an assist, Tyler Smith, who came on and scored, you know, Adam Wilson, who I'm starting, Tariq Wright, who's also getting dropped, Jamie Walker, who's back in contention. There's so many quality players, and if you have one bad game, you're out the team, and someone who took the chance off the bench deserves to play. And for me, that's Adam Wilson, because when he came on, I got off my seat. You know, he was taking players on, he was driving, he had a bit of spirit about him, and he had that real quality that you need, and what you want to see as well. You know, you want to see fearless wingers at Bradford City, and that's what I've seen every time he's gone on that Valley Parade pitch, and I'm glad that Alexander got to see what he could really do, because we've seen it when he came on against Wrexham, scored a Des Hamilton-like goal, you know, and Barrow, even playing as a left back, looked decent, and a few other games as well. Like the look of him, and he's got a bright future. And Andy Cook up front, of course, the main man in Andy Cook. But yeah, how long's that? 13 minutes, so apologies, quite long for a preview. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, your score predictions. Hopefully the game goes ahead. We have had a bit of rain earlier today, and it's Thursday, so hopefully we have no rain, and we have a football match to go to on a Saturday, and hopefully no more you know, games getting called off whilst you're in a pub, because that's back-to-back Saturdays, and I'm not keen on that. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Well, I suppose it's the EFL. Flipping Barrow referee, innit? I'm gonna call the game off. Right, well, have a good one.